Hey, so this is a chart that helps us visualize cybersecurity and the components and systems and mechanisms you create when you use a computer system for your business. And when you use a computer system for your business, if you can't figure out some things at a glance and understand who is doing what job in your environment, what process they're using, and the needs around why they're using those resources, and to understand the circumstances, right? You don't understand what your business is doing. Your business is going to have consumption jobs ranging from acquisition and purchase all the way through disposal. So maybe you want to start a startup, you want to build a SaaS, you want to build software, right? You have to plan for this entire customer journey. But you also have to understand what your customers' pain points are. You need a good foundational roadmap. You need to understand your organization's products and services, what's a pain reliever and a gain creator, along with your customer, right? What is your customer hiring you for? What job are they experiencing, and what things in their customer journey are going to be gain creators and pain relievers? That's the other half of your roadmap. But what is a customer journey, right? Customers have that first thought, and then they become passively looking at something. Then they switch to actively looking. Then they move to deciding, consuming, complete. And hopefully, if you've delivered a good service or product, you have satisfaction. But we have to understand more about our market. So how do we understand what desired outcomes that we want, right? And how do we change out of the status quo? Well, we need to understand what the table stakes are, right? What outcomes do you hypothesize are important? We need to identify the underserved, right? These are opportunities to add value. We need to understand where we can reduce cost and complexity, and what things are irrelevant to our process. If you're at the phase in your journey where you're saying everybody and everything, continue to refine, distill, until you have this very specific statement: direction, metric, objective of control, and contextual clarifier. So how do we do that, right? We have to understand the consumption jobs that the person is doing. What system and process are they using? So, and then we have to understand what related or secondary jobs have to be done, and what emotional jobs are being done. How does this person feel about what they're doing, and how do they perceive what they're doing, right? Do they believe in it? Now let's take a look. How does cybersecurity tie into all this? If you're using a computer system in the year 2023, if you're watching this on a computer, cybersecurity probably applies to you. So let's look, right? We have organizations that have actions and controls that they can take, right? But what we want to do is raise the opportunity costs to afford malicious cyber activities to abandon their efforts. But there's going to be somebody who's persistent, and they're not going to abandon their efforts, and they're going to get in to your digital perimeter. So then we have to protect our data and prevent exploitation. But you have found the most dedicated person, and they are making it through your protections. They no longer care. You have not prevented them from gaining control in your network, right? Compromising your organization's data. So we need to understand how to detect that. And we detect that with actions and controls, from proactive to detective and responsive, right? This is where your logging, monitoring, alerting, your SIM comes in, right? Your reports that identify behaviors that are outside of the boundary and scope of your organization fall into these domains. And then we need our organization to be able to adapt, right? For this most persistent threat actor who breaks through our protections, we want to detect what they do so we can do what? Adapt to it, right? Same thing if you're driving down the road and you see a car that is turning on their blinker, you will adapt to your driving pattern. You will slow down. You will leave some space, right? Use the zipper method. So we want to make sure that we can adapt to the malicious cyber actors, and we can't do that without the ability to detect. If you cannot detect what is in your digital environment, you will never get ahead with cybersecurity. You'll never get ahead. You will never know what's going on. Think about it this way. If there were no ability to tell that somebody could or couldn't come in your house, right? you would never know if somebody went in there. So what we want to do is set up good controls that let us detect malicious cyber activity, and so we can make changes. So as we're doing this, right, as we're building our SaaS, we need to understand all of these components. And in 2023, if you run a digital business, if you are using data in any regard to build your business or your process, you need to follow this. So how do we get there? How do we get to all of this? We start by asking questions. You need, whatever you're doing, you need a line diagram to do. You have to start there. If you don't have that process established, then you're going to consistently be looking for new opportunities. So how do we get these interview questions, right? We get it through creativity, curiosity, and intention. So we have to establish the background. Without the background, you won't know what's going on inside your business. You won't understand your customer. So get the background about the participant and the job. You want to build rapport quickly and effectively? Tell me a little about yourself and what do you do? And when was the last time you did the main job? Don't say main job. Replace this with whatever they've given you there. And ask them, how did you feel? You're going to learn so much by using these 3 questions in your background that you're going to facilitate that organic conversation, right? That's not forced, and you're going to understand this person's pain point. Why do you need that pain point? Let's go back to this customer journey. Guess what? The customer is going to hire you for a job to solve their pain and hopefully a gain. We'll talk briefly about pains and gains, right? Think about this. If you were in an immense amount of pain, your toothache, sprained ankle, whatever, and you go to your medicine cabinet and you don't have the thing to alleviate the pain, what are you probably going to do? You're probably going to make an effort to go to the store and buy some pain relievers, right? Whatever that is for your circumstances. But then let's talk about gain creators. They're like vitamins. If you ran out of vitamins on Tuesday, but you normally go shopping on Friday, you're probably not going to make an emergent run to the store for vitamins, right? But so that's how you can separate a pain versus a gain creator. So if you're enjoying this content, let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think about this. We're going to keep diving in. And if there's a specific part of this dashboard that you want to see, let me know.